focus on thee. And
a copy of the Open Meetings Act is located on the north wall of the legislative chambers. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Borgeson is not here today, so lucky everyone, you have me again today. Okay, we have Douglas County Board of Equalization. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Borgeson, Commissioner Boyle, Commissioner Duda, Commissioner Kraft, Commissioner Morgan, Commissioner Rogers, Madam Chair.
Here. Item A, approval of the minutes of the Board of Equalization meeting held Tuesday, September 17th. And item B, call for a meeting and set Tuesday, October 1st, 2013 as a date for hearing on certified assessment corrections reflecting the addition of omitted property to the tax rolls or increased value on property.
Approval of A and B.
Any questions or comments? Please vote.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the chambers that wishes to speak to the Board of Equalization that's not on the agenda? There is none. Okay, we have resolutions D, E, and F.
Approval and adjourn.
And
Second.
any questions or comments? Please vote.
Motion passes.
Thank you. We will now move to the agenda of the Douglas County Board of Commissioners. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Borgeson, Commissioner Boyle, Commissioner Duda, Commissioner Kraft, Commissioner Morgan, Commissioner Rogers, Madam Chair.
Here. Thank you. First one, item A, approval of minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held Tuesday, September 17, 2013. And item B, approval of claims submitted for payment process through Tuesday, September 24, 2013. Complete listing is on file in the office of the County Clerk Comptroller and available at Douglas County Clerk Comptroller's webpage. Any questions or comments? None. Please vote.
Motion passes.
Thank you. We now move to the consent agenda. We have items A through P. There are a total of 16 items. Is there any items that the commissioners would like to hold separately? Mike?
Yes, I'd like to ask about something about A and also K.
Okay. So we have items A through P less A and K, a total of 14 now. Please, any questions or comments? Do you have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Please vote.
Just a moment, please. Okay.
Okay, it says, oh, okay, I got it.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, Commissioner Boyle, did you have a question on item A?
Yes, it's pretty direct. I'm wondering whether we could just go to Cox Communication and ask them to make other adjustments rather than hiring somebody to and paying someone to do that.
Patrick?
We did it once and we got a good result. I'm just curious whether anybody could just call Cox and say, hey, look, this already happened, and are you willing to make other adjustments for other years, and see if they do it.
Certainly we could do that first before utilizing their services. I guess I asked Mike Dwarnicki if he has any comment. If you want to come forward, Mike, and speak to that, our internal auditor.
I'm Mike Dwarnicki, Internal Audit Director for Douglas County.
Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
Michael. My question was, is it possible, do you think we can just somebody, probably Patrick, because he's the Chief Administrative Officer, calling the folks at Cox and saying, hey, look, this already turned up this discrepancy and you owe us money, and now we want the other previous years as far back as we can go. Are you willing to pay it? I mean, well, is it that simple or not?
I don't think it's that simple.
Okay.
I think they actually have to do the work. And
okay.
figure out what they actually might owe us.
Okay, that's fine then.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
Yep.
Motion to approve A.
Second.
Please vote.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, Commissioner Boyle, you had a question on K.
I did. I don't know if Lee LeJour is here or not.
I want to speak to it, Mike.
Oh, okay. This was, let's see, we have, well, I read this over last night, and I was just curious whether, what were my questions about this? I didn't write it down. Oh, I know. First of all, I was curious about whether, I guess Joe will be notified of anything, too. You're representing the county board, and then Lee, of course, is, I guess I don't want to put it this way, but it really is not accountable to anybody. He isn't hired, it's an independent group, the Civil Service Commission, so he doesn't, although we do the hiring. I was just concerned about whether or not, you would be notified if there was a need to be notified. And secondly, I was concerned about, from a legal point of view, and I think it was in item line 16, choice of law, talks about the agreement shall be governed by and construed in accordance with the internal laws of the state of New York. And then it goes on to kind of negate that. Can one of our legal beagles tell me what I'm misreading here? Which, if we have a dispute, where do we go? To New York or Douglas County?
Yeah, I know, this has been reviewed with the pension committee, and Bernie Monbouquet is the attorney for the pension committee, and he's reviewed this agreement. In terms of venue of jurisdiction, don't really feel qualified to speak to that. Maybe I'll ask Teresa.
If I may have one moment.
I'm sorry to drop that without warning you. I didn't know who would respond. The other question that I had while Teresa's looking at that is, do these folks have any, well, let me just ask it very bluntly. Is this all a bunch of white guys that runs this operation, or do we have any minorities, any women in positions?
Oh, certainly our account manager for the past few years, Haley Reeves, is a woman, and she's been out for a little bit while on maternity leave. In terms of their whole, so she's been our account manager, and she's a white female. But I'm not, she's the one we deal with 80% of the time, and her supervisor, Jason Poulos, and really those are the only two people from the firm that we deal with, so I can't really speak to their composition.
Okay, well, I'll speak to Lee about this. I would like to see us become more inquisitive as to who we're dealing with. I think it makes a difference in seeing that everybody gets included. So I'll talk to Lee about that. Didn't mean to drop that bomb, but it's just something that I've always been very interested in.
Teresa?
Thank you, Commissioner. Teresa, York County Attorney's Office. I spoke with Bernie Monbouquet about this agreement prior to today, and he is the one who reviewed it. It appears that the laws of the state of New York would apply in certain instances. However, I know that Bernie had venue is in Nebraska, so any litigation that occurred would occur here. And if you note the very end of that paragraph, our sovereign immunity is preserved, as well as we would have the governing law with regards to tort and tort claims would be Nebraska law, and our office was very concerned about that and made sure that was in the contract because of the liability limits in Nebraska law, so we are protected in that way.
Okay, I appreciate that. That's fine. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Please vote.
Motion passes.
Thank you. And that'll take care of the consent agenda. Next, citizens' comments. Is there anyone in the chambers that wishes to speak the Board of Commissioners that's not on the agenda? I see none. Now we have committees. We have Finance Committee with Commissioners Claire Duda and P.J. Morgan for the budget report.
There really isn't anything to report. Next week, we will have, after the board meeting, a finance meeting and go over some things with some of our requests for next year. So that's it for today.
Awesome, thank you. Next, we have Child and Youth Services by Commissioner Chris Rogers, and there is one item on here. Chris?
It's basically an agreement that we've been into in regards to the educational service there, and I would just ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Please vote.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Next, we have Human Resources. The first one is Weekly Personnel Report from Civil Service, as presented. Next, we have the Weekly CAO Report on Staff Assaults. Patrick?
There was one assault at corrections, no major injuries, so that's it.
Thank you. Next, we have item 4, approval of increase to the county self-funded medical insurance plan premium.
Commissioner Tusa, can I
sorry.
add something under legislative issues?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think since we're asking for them, particularly, I'd like to add one to the list that we advocate for, and I guess to explain in greater detail. There was and I have to share it with you, a legal opinion that I had asked the state for in respects to public meeting laws, and there is the State Workforce Board, which we, Douglas, Sarpy, and Washington are part of. There was an agreement that was entered into in '98 by the county boards to give the mayor of Omaha the authority to appoint those boards, and especially the workforce system. The State Workforce Board, which to me is kind of like the same way we operate with the county board and we have committees. The state's committee that has performance, which is where all the state's committees go to kind of understand what the goals they need to meet. I guess we came to find out that they're not under public meeting law, and they don't have to let you in the meeting. And so, well, yeah, I mean, they can, so I'd like to put that down to explain in greater detail, to ask that the public meeting law be expanded for those subcommittees and state committees.
Interesting.
Okay. Marcos, can we make sure we have that added to our list?
And I'll get a copy of that. Actually, Diane asked the Attorney General to give me a ruling. The ruling didn't exactly come from the Attorney General. It came from the legal counsel, I think, for the governor or for that department. So I'd definitely like to ask for that to be expanded to be able to understand what's going on in that meeting.
Not a problem. Let's get that taken care of. Anything else, Chris?
No.
Commissioner Boyle.
Yes, I have a question about the insurance. I don't know if are we ready to talk about that?
Okay. Is there any other legislative issues? Okay, none. Okay, now we're going to move to number 4, approval of insurance to the county's self-funded medical insurance plan premium effective January 1st, 2014, and to implement a premium holiday for 3 pay periods. I have Patrick Bloomendale to answer any questions on this.
Okay, well, the question I had as I went through it, there's this chart in red and yellow, a matrix of some sort, and I was curious, this is spelling out all the policies that we have with the various unions, and then what is being paid by individuals and families and so forth. And these are the amounts that would be, the employee contribution would not be collected during those 3 periods. Is that correct?
And neither the county nor the employee contributions would be collected during those 3 periods.
Okay. Let me ask you about, if you can talk about it, is there something in here about retired employees too? I thought I came across something that dealt with retired employees. Maybe I'm...
There's nothing in this about retired employees.
I know it was late when I read this last night.
The rates, obviously the 9.4% applies to everybody, including the retirees, but there's no other specific elements that...
Okay, I get it's on the left-hand side in the red. It says retirees and then N1 retirees. So they'll be getting the same thing that the other employees will?
Correct.
The retired employees be getting the same thing as the regular employees will?
The rate increase is correct.
Well, yeah, but they'll also get the holiday?
Yes. they will get the 3 premium holidays as well.
Okay. Those are my questions. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, this is up for approval. Could I have a motion, please?
Move for the approval.
Second.
Please vote.
Motion passes.
Thank you. There is no need for executive session,
Motion
so...
to adjourn.
Goodness.
Please vote.
Sorry I asked so many questions today.
You stalled the meeting.
I know, sorry. I know. Nice job, Commissioner Tusha.
Commissioner Rogers? Motion passes.
Thank you. That concludes our meeting. Everyone have an awesome day today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.